Hey everyone, it's Peek. Welcome back to the channel today, and welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video. So today I'm actually looking at the changes that happened in today's patch. The August 4th patch, it was a balance update. A lot of things were changed around, nerfed, buffed, stuff like that. And user / PhantomBaselard, hilarious name, who also goes by Degnabbit in the community here on Reddit. The r/Pokemon Unite Reddit, which you guys haven't joined, you definitely should. It's a great resource for just learning the game, memes, stuff like that. But they have been kind enough to go ahead and test as many of these changes as they were able to, as well as some work from Serebii, whose page we'll be looking at as well, and another user who I believe I saw their name somewhere. It was what was it? Kontossis here on Reddit. Also, I believe. Was the one who's working on this spreadsheet. So, of course, shout outs to those individuals. Again, we love seeing stuff like this in the community already, like people really wanting to test the raw numbers of stuff for changes like this. Unfortunately, Teamy is not giving us the numbers currently, which is really a bummer, TBH, but hopefully we see those more in the future. But for now, this is kind of the best thing that we got, and I think the testing seemed pretty thorough from my initial review of it. So I wanted to kind of showcase what's here on this Reddit post from, again, our friend PhantomBaselard, the Slowbro main. So shout outs to you. Thanks so much for this. Just gonna kind of walk through these different changes. I went over them yesterday when I talked about what changes were coming, but these are very much more definitive, like numbers on what actually changed. So Charizard, huge buffs. The cooldown on Flamethrower was dropped by 1.5 seconds. Also increased like a decent amount of damage. The burn damage does more, not really any ability damage, but the burn damage does about double the amount. So it ends up being a 20% increase in damage on the move, which is really awesome to see. Flamethrower, also damage increased as well. Again, we're seeing no move damage increase, but again, the burn damage doubles, which again, 17% increase in damage, in total damage that happens from the burn from Flamethrower, which I think is really good. So really makes Charizard quite strong in my opinion. This is a huge one. Fire Blast, the cooldown was actually reduced by 3 seconds, which is really a long time in a Unite battle. I think this changes from being able to use one Fire Blast in a fight from being able to use it twice, honestly. I think most fights will range around the 20-second mark, and this just definitely allows you to get at least 2 Fire Blasts in, which is really good to see. It looks like the damage has not changed, other than, yeah, no, it doesn't. It seems like apparently like the slow is maybe a little bit increased because Fire Blast does slow enemies that walk through it. So be aware of that. If you're going against a Charizard, don't walk in the Fire Blast for sure. And apparently people are saying that the Fire Punch is pretty much unchanged, but we're not certain yet if it's just the extra little knockback that happened from Fire Punch previously. Hard to tell, honestly, but really good to see these changes to Charizard. I think in general, like the damage increases and stuff are very welcome to a character that's just not seeing a lot of play currently. Talonflame buffs as well across the board. Super exciting to see this. This is a 66% damage increase on Acrobatics, which is the move it starts with. So really makes its jungle clear probably one of the fastest in the game, which is very exciting to see. I'm really excited to see Talonflame more in games because I really think it's a cool character. Aerial Ace increased damage from 850 to 1.1k. That's about a 33% increase. Huge. Aerial Ace Plus, what is this? Gonna be a decent chunk of increase in damage as well. And again, Fly, this is really the exciting one because I don't know if you guys knew this about Talonflame, but you can actually use Fluffy Tail while you're in the air using Fly. So a combo that I've seen suggested quite a lot is being able to go in and last hit and steal the Zapdos from the enemy team with Fly, because you're invincible while you're flying in the sky. And of course that Fluffy Tail gives you just extra damage on that hit. And now that Fly does 2.9k, almost 3,000 damage on hit, that's really going to be huge for stealing objectives and stuff like that. So I really think Talonflame definitely has a spot, especially in the solo queue scene. Excited to see that. So for Venusaur, we're going to see this. We're going to see Sludge Bomb is getting more of a special defense drop now, I believe. and the damage is going to increase as well. So it ends up being like a 53% increase in damage. So if you haven't tried Sludge Bomb on Venusaur now, highly suggest going it because that just sounds amazing. It sounds like for the Petal Dance upgrade, nobody's really sure what happened yet. The movement speed and the range of it seems about the same, and the damage is about the same. So even though they said it's getting an upgrade, really not sure what the deal is with that one because it doesn't seem changed. Solar Beam is going to get a 1 second cooldown decrease from 11 to 10 seconds. I think that's definitely fair. Solar Beam's a very good move. I wish they would have increased the damage a little bit, but that's okay. Hey, so really quickly, I figured this would happen when I was editing this video and about to put it out. Some more discoveries were made. So one thing I just want to correct about what I said about Sludge Bomb is that the special defense drop is exactly the same as it was before, but the movement speed slow on it has increased by just a little bit, it seems. So that's what it seems from people's testing, that they're seeing that the Sludge Bomb is slowing a little bit more than it used to, which is great. Really makes Venusaur even better. Like, movement speed decreases in this game are very potent. And the last thing, actually, which is even crazier, is that Solar Beam does get that 1 second cooldown when you first unlock the skill. However, the cooldown reduction of Solar Beam scales off your level. So at level 15, you're getting Solar Beams back about every 5 seconds. Which is just insane, actually. So again, like, little side note there, like, Solar Beam incredibly buff. Like, if you haven't tried it on Venusaur, definitely go try it, because as you level up more and more, the cooldown for Solar Beam is going to be reduced even more, up to 5.35 seconds at level 15, which is just insane, like, actually insane. So really excited about that. Again, like, shout outs to Kontossis, who made this spreadsheet and is just constantly trying to test these things and update them. Again, like, the information in this video might not necessarily be 100,000% accurate, but from people's testing, of course, I wanted to get this out to you guys early so you would know exactly what the changes were. This is kind of what we're seeing. So again, things might be incorrect, but yeah, so back to previous me. Bye. And 31% damage increase on Venusaur's Unite move, which is massive, honestly. So good to see that. Really, really happy about that. Venusaur players, or people who even have wanted to play Venusaur but felt like they can't because it's not strong enough, I think this Unite move damage increase is really, really welcome. So I'm very happy to see that. I'll definitely be trying Venusaur for sure with this new update. So look forward to that on the channel. Definitely have Venusaur gameplay out in the next few days. So for Absol, it's 2 moves that nobody really uses received a buff. So Night Slash and Sucker Punch, most people just go Pursuit, Psycho Cut if you're playing Absol, because these two are pretty much regarded as the inferior moves. But a huge damage increase on Night Slash ends up being a 91% increase on this, like, full combo hit that you get from Night Slash with the increased damage, I believe. And Sucker Punch, again, like, just raw value increase from 637 to 900. Again, like, that's a 40% damage increase. So if you were wanting to play Absol a little bit differently, Sucker Punch can be really fun. I personally find it a little bit sluggish, but you can definitely try it out because it's a lot stronger than it used to be. That's for sure. Wigglytuff. This is the huge thing. And I think this is something that I'm actually going to roll over to the Serebii page to talk about, because he did a good job of showcasing this, I believe. So for Wigglytuff, take a look at this. This is actually insane. Wigglytuff went from 8,000 base HP at level 15 to 9,452. To put that in perspective, Wigglytuff is a support character, right? Snorlax has 10,000 HP, just about. It's literally 500 HP less than Snorlax at level 15, which is just, it's really awesome to see. They definitely needed this. Wigglytuff was just really suffering endgame. It didn't feel tanky enough. It just felt like it got blown up easily and just was useless. Again, you're also seeing a huge defense and special defense increase for Wigglytuff. It's going from 200 at level 15 before to now 539 defense at level 15. And for the special defense, 149 to 482. That's literally like, what is that, like almost a 250, I guess it's like 250%-ish, 2.5 times the amount that it had before, which is just so good to see for Wigglytuff players or people who wanted to make the character work. It just wasn't performing well enough in whenever you would take it. So I'm really happy to see this happen for Wigglytuff. I really think it's a strong Pokemon. Sing is amazing. Let's just go back to this previous page. I guess they didn't see anything improved on sleep yet, but I believe on this user's page, they were mentioned that Sing 1.5 seconds at sleep plus. So I guess you're sleeping for just a tad bit longer, maybe, it sounds like. But not positive on that one yet. But again, like Sing being buffed and Wigglytuff's entire base stats being buffed, very, very huge. A decent buff on Double Slap as well. So I'm guessing probably people will start taking Double Slap over Dazzling Gleam, which is what was really taken before. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of have to wait and see how that kind of works out. But again, huge buffs on Wigglytuff. Very excited to see that character kind of start being played. Honestly, I think it's really good, and hopefully we do see it. So for Eldegoss, the Cotton Guard ability had its cooldown increased. Again, Cotton Guard is a very potent ability. That's the one that gives AoE shields to your entire team and heals them. And the little bit of healing that happens after Cotton Guard also got nerfed. So that's about a 40% decrease in those numbers, which is really going to hurt a lot, I think, honestly, especially people who go Cotton Guard Leaf Tornado. It's really going to kind of decrease the potency of Eldegoss. So yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. I think it's probably good, but it's just it's rough on Eldegoss players who really enjoy playing that character to have this skill nerfed so hard, because it's really a big hit. So Conspore is actually buffed because, again, like I mentioned in the previous video, people are, I think they want to see people use more of the skills and start to kind of adapt their play styles, which I'm not really sure how viable that is to actually happen in this game. I think there will probably always be a best set of 2 skills, but maybe not. We'll see. But again, the cooldown was decreased for Conspore, so you're going to be able to use it more often, but the damage is about the same. So people are thinking that maybe the knockup does more. It's like a bigger knockup or something with Conspore, but the damage is the same. But much lower cooldown, 2.5 seconds is nothing to scoff at. It's quite a lot. And again, this is another huge hit for Eldegoss players. Cotton Cloud Crash, which is the Unite move of Eldegoss. The healing is reduced by 20%. So when you crash down, you're not going to be healing as much to your allies. You're not going to see their health bars go to 100%. It's going to be more like going to 80%. So still a very potent Unite move. One of the best in the game for sure. For turning fights around, but it's just quite not going to do as much as it used to. This is the big one, Cinderace. The base attack of Cinderace at level 15 was decreased from 479 to 418. This is about a 12% decrease in just your straight up auto attack damage, as well as your abilities are also going to scale off physical attack as Cinderace, so that's something to keep in mind here. The Blaze Kick damage was of course decreased. It goes from what, I guess you guys can read these numbers, but again, it's going to be about a 17% decrease in damage, which I think isn't a huge nerf. I think Blaze Kick is actually still quite strong, but we're just going to have to see. So for Pyro Ball, they did buff this skill, right? They said they're increasing the damage of the skill, but the thing is they also nerfed the attack of Cinderace quite a bit. So that's obviously going to lessen the buff to Pyro Ball, and it's only going to end up doing about 4% more damage. So pretty negligible, honestly. But all in all, like, I'm happy to see this happen, honestly, because Cinderace has just been such a staple. And I think this makes more room for like a Machamp or even maybe a Garchomp or Greninja to kind of be more of like the physical damage carries. I still think Cinderace will be super strong. I don't think this kind of kills Cinderace. Because you're still getting crazy attack speed from Blaze Kick and stuff like that. I know they mentioned that they were changing Feint, so let's see if anyone has anything on that. So it sounds like, can't tell, maybe 0.1 second off of the invulnerability, but the move speed bonus still seems in place. So they did mention in the patch notes that the active effect time and the movement speed increase has been decreased a little bit, but maybe it's just a very, very small amount. But again, that can kind of make a difference at the end of the day. Let's see. So nothing on Serebii for that. But, these are just little minute details. But generally, you can understand that Cinderace was nerfed quite a bit and changed. So unfortunate for Cinderace players. But yeah, so moving on, Gengar, we got Shadow Ball here. The damage was increased quite a lot. That's a 40% damage increase. So definitely could see that being used in the future. Hex was not nerfed nearly as much as I expected it to be. But, you know, I think that's probably healthy, not to, like, completely just destroy Pokemon and render them unusable. It's kind of the same thing as Cinderace. Like, I don't think Cinderace is unusable. I still think it'll be very good. But this just kind of tones down Hex by about 13% of its damage. Again, so I think that's good. And also the Hex, what is really, you know, kind of probably going to make the difference for Gengar players is that apparently people are saying here that the invulnerability frames that happen when you use Hex are reduced a little bit. So, you know, they're not really able to tell exactly in like all the testing that people have been doing, but so far it seems that it may have decreased just a little bit, which will make it easier to, you know, land Unite moves or land moves on Gengars or stuns in between them spamming Hex over and over again, which, you know, you will still probably see. So definitely watch out for that in your games. It's not deleted from the game. There's no like cooldown change or anything like that. It's just a little bit of a damage nerf, about 13%. So yeah, you will probably still see Hex Sludge Bomb Gengars in your game for sure. So don't worry about that. But again, Dream Eater as the next buff here was changed quite a lot. I believe that it actually just activates faster. So that's honestly good. And will just, you know, allow for people to try different things like Dream Eater. Shadow Ball definitely could maybe see use now, especially since Shadow Ball has been buffed so much. So again, here, moving on, we got Zeraora. Wild Charge was buffed, and its Unite move was nerfed. So nobody really uses Wild Charge, which is kind of the unfortunate thing because Discharge is so crazy good on Zeraora. So I don't expect this to really see that much use still. The cooldown was reduced by 1 second. Not very big. A little bit of a damage increase as well, it seems. But, you know, the big thing here is that Plasma Gale, the Unite move from Zeraora, was nerfed. It's not huge, but it's a 15% decrease. So hopefully we see less of Zeraora just being able to use its Unite move, which is a targeted ability that doesn't miss, and just, you know, blowing up people on the enemy team. But I suspect we will still see that, to be honest. 15% is not a huge decrease. It was doing like 3,000 damage before. So now we're going to see it more in like the 2,500 range, which is still like pretty much most of the HP bar of anyone that's not a defender or a tanky character at the end of the game. So it is what it is. Zeraora is definitely still strong. So for Cramorant, Whirlpool getting nerfed just a little bit. It's still going to be very good for last hitting early game in lane. Of course, Whirlpool is one of the first skills you get as Cramorant. So I still think it'll be good. But I'm really happy to see the dive buff here. It's about a 25% increase across the board between its normal and upgraded version. So dive may be a little more viable now. Dive Air Slash as like a more like assassin style combo as Cramorant. So that'll be cool to see. Hopefully some people run that. I still think Surf is really strong, but you know, we'll see. I think we'll definitely see some people going dive. So for Machamp, Cross Chop, again, this is really unfortunate because I really don't think this was warranted. I think Machamp was probably in a really healthy spot, but here we are, 29% decrease in damage just about for Cross Chop, which is really, it's a shame, honestly. But that's okay because like really the thing is about Cross Chop is like you are probably using it more as like an engage or disengage tool because, you know, it's one of the few dashes that Machamp has. But I think Cross Chop submission is still probably going to be the best set because this close combat change is really just a small damage buff of about, what, 7%? So really not huge there, to be honest. Really not a big deal. It is a little bit of a damage increase, but I still think submission is just way better. Like so much better. So yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing close combat on Machamp very much. So for Lucario, I guess they also got help from user/Kaisil Aome. So shout out to them as well. Power Up Punch. There was a bug which actually let Lucario do more damage, apparently. So now, let's see, immediately using the boosted auto attack provided by Power Up Punch would give the bonus to the boosted auto attack as well, the attack bonus. So this would do like crazy amounts of damage. So now, I guess that's just not going to happen anymore. So yeah, Power Up Punch is still a very strong move, but I guess there was some bugs working in there that gave like way more bonus power to auto attacks that Lucario was using. So just be aware of that. That is something that has changed. And again, you guys can kind of read these notes at the end, but that is about as far as this person got with the different changes and stuff. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it here, because I think most things, other than this thing that I wanted to address with Lucario that they didn't mention in the Reddit post, there was a bug with Bone Rush where, let's see, it fixed a bug where Pokemon that were in range of your follow-up attack weren't taking damage. So the thing is now, Bone Rush, I guess, actually does damage when you teleport to it, so that's a little bit better as well. Bone Rush was already really good, but I think somebody was actually mentioning that there were some other issues with Bone Rush, but you know, not exactly clear on what those would be or are currently. But I think this kind of gives you a general overview of what's changed. Hopefully this helped. If you guys like this style of video where I just kind of go over the numbers of different people that have tested these things, let me know. I can definitely do this for future updates as well, or if you just want to kind of keep it elementary, keep it more basic, where I don't talk about like, you know, 66% increase on acrobatics and stuff like that, I can do that as well. So just let me know what you guys prefer. I personally like seeing the numbers and seeing how things changed with the patch exactly, because that just kind of helps me gauge like, oh, is this a huge buff or a huge nerf? Like, for example, like the close combat buff for Machamp, I was expecting it to be huge. It's only ended up being 7%, right? So it kind of just depends, it seems. But all in all, I'm generally pretty happy with these tweaks. I think they are more tweaks than anything. Like, some stuff really got hit hard or buffed hard, which is good to see, because I think a lot of stuff was really strong or weak. But generally, it seems that they're trying to keep the things very small tweaks, just so they can kind of see how things are performing and stuff like that over time. So yeah, anyway, that's the August 4th patch changes. Thanks again to PhantomBaselard, Serebii, all the users that I mentioned below, as well as, again, let me just make sure, Kontossis as well on the Zeraora stuff, as well as they also were the person that kind of put this spreadsheet together. I will link all these things in the description so you guys can take a look at them yourselves if you want to see the exact numbers. All three of these links that we've been looking at will be in the description, so go check that out. Again, I want to thank you guys for the support on the recent videos. It's been so much fun interacting with all you guys and just being a part of the Unite community in this way. Really just genuinely appreciate the support from the bottom of my heart. It's been super awesome. So we're gonna keep going, and until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.